You also love Disney. You're not that concerned about the streaming slowdown, if you will. Why do you love the House of Mouse?
The House of Mouse, I love it. Well, I mean, everybody loves the House of Mouse, right? So listen, you know, they absolutely missed, but it's all good. You know, I think about three things when I think about Disney. I think about parks, I think about films, and of course, I think about streaming. And, you know, a lot of people were looking at that miss, and, you know, Netflix had their miss, but it makes sense that Disney also had a miss as well, right? So it's totally fine. You know, I'm thinking about, so, you know, first of all, Disney's on sale right now. We love that. And we're looking at the opportunity that Disney has in streaming. They were able to do what Netflix did in 16 months, right? So Netflix got to 100 million subscribers in 10 years, and Disney did it in 16 months, right? And
yeah, I mean, Tiffany, I know the numbers, they left you speechless there for a moment. I get it. I mean, it happens to me all the time because you're thinking everybody wants to pile on Disney because of a slowdown. It's because we're in the media, right? I think sometimes that's what we do. You slowed down. You gained 100 million subscribers in just over a year. Yeah.
And that's huge, right? And you have to think about it. When you're thinking about Disney, yes, the Disney Plus story is really, I mean, listen, it's the most magical thing, right, in streaming. But then also when you think about Disney and streaming, it includes Hulu and also ESPN. And so by the end of their fiscal year this year, they had 146 million in subscribers across all their platforms. And so when I think about the amount of money that they're going to spend in content, you know, when Netflix spends, the more money that Netflix spends in content, the more their subscribers grow and the more their revenue grows. And so Disney is set to spend about 14 to 16 billion each year over the course of the next few years on original content, and Netflix is going to spend about 19. So they're kind of just under Netflix. Then I think about parks, of course, right? So you know, some of the parks are closed, some of the parks are at limited capacity, but as the world continues to open, parks are going to pop. And then of course, film, they're releasing several films with that kind of 45-day window into theater first, and then going to Disney Plus. So all together, you know, it's like bippity boppity boo, right? That's the trifecta.
Well, listen, when we go to Orlando
right?
to Disney World, are we more likely now to stay in Airbnbs than in hotels, at least for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, so, you know, so of course, Airbnb reported earnings. And the one thing that I was looking for was whether people were going to be, you know, people were going to be staying longer term, right? And so they reported that number, and their stays were extended, right? So I don't think it's a contrast between Airbnb versus hotel. I think that we're in this reopen period, right? And so when we kind of come out of this, there are a lot of employers that are not going to require their employees to come back into an office, right? And so then we're also going to have hybrid models. Yeah. So what that tells me is that people were doing this kind of work from anywhere situation. Listen, you know, if I look at, whenever I think about Airbnb, I think about the fact that they have over 5 million rentals. They're, like, they basically now account for about 25% of the market share. And if they were a hotel chain, they'd be bigger than the top 5 hotel brands in the world combined.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.